So I really just want to kind of do this as a discussion. So we're going to just do introductions to begin with, and I'll go last. So Rico, why don't you go first about what you did for Renegades and a little bit about the project, and we'll just continue down the line, and then I'll come back to me, and then I'll recap everything.
Okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Rico Anderson. I play Boros in Renegades. I'm one of the big blue, scaly, reptilian-type aliens that you may have seen in the promos. I'm the son of the main bad guy, who is Borata, played by Bruce Young. And, yeah, very, very happy to be here. Thank you so much for coming through.
I'm Adrienne Wilkinson. I do mean things to him. I make him do mean things for me. And I had a really good time doing it. So there you go.
I'm J.G. Hertzler. I played a bunch of different characters on all the different Star Trek shows. I'm in makeup, young makeup right now. I'm an amazing actor. I'm also a little insane. My name's Manuente Reme. I played Icheb on Star Trek Voyager and Icheb 2.0 or whatever he is in Star Trek Renegades. I was also on One Tree Hill. How many One Tree Hill fans out there, huh? Thanks for that. I know you're lying, but thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Dawson. I'm one of the visual effects supervisors on Renegades.
And I'm Frank Zanka. I am line producer. How many people have actually seen it? How many donors do we have that actually have seen Renegades? One? Okay.
Wow.
Two. How many people have seen the trailer? Okay, at least everybody's seen the trailer. So you know that it's basically the Dirty Dozen in space. It's something that's really never been done before in Star Trek. So Adrienne plays Lexa Singh, which is Khan's daughter, and she is the head of the Renegades ship, which is called the Icarus. I should have said if anybody knew what that was. But yeah, so it was very exciting that we were able to shoot this project on a very, very small budget with a large cast and a lot of sets. It was definitely experience. We shot it in 16 days and with a whole lot of special effects. So it's been up to this point that we've been doing the special effects. It's taken almost a year for effects-wise. As far as how the actual days went, that's what I want to turn over to our cast, because one big thing that we did really had every single day we had rewrites. It's really the first set I've ever been on where we had rewrites every single day, which was not easy for the cast. So I want to go into some stories that maybe you had on set that you want to share.
Look at Frank with the dirty laundry.
That's what we want to hear, dirty laundry, right?
I will say it was a record for me. I had 8 sets of new pages in one day. So I was about this close to having a breakdown. But yeah, that was tricky. That's all I can say about that.
What about the physical side? Because now Borata, who is the main Saipon, who's what, 6 foot and change? And how tall are you, Adrienne?
5'5".
5'5".
But
and
it's
she
a really intense 5'5".
So she had to sell these amazing punches and this fight scene that we did at the end that was just incredible. So why don't you talk about some of the fight scenes and how the physical side was?
When they had you on that crane and you were
tossing
you were
around
up in the trees with the sword.
That I didn't mind, but when they set me on fire, I was like, guys. I mean,
yeah.
come on now. It was tricky.
Was it neat working with Chow Yun Fat?
It was, it's half a dozen. You know what I mean? Like some days are good, some days are bad. Yeah. It was intense. I will say that particular fight scene, Bruce is such a lovely human being, and he was really in a difficult position because that makeup is so intense and the costuming and So I actually think the hardest thing was because he couldn't see out of it very well. So it was my job to make sure that I wasn't actually getting hit. So that meant dodging was, it was a serious issue because it was a combination because not only could he not see very well, but it was a really difficult costume to breathe in, which of course you could speak to much better than I could. But it was just, that was something that we definitely had to deal with, beat by beat.
Exactly. We're talking like for the sci-fi. Well, for myself, it was about 3 to 4 hours of prosthetic makeup, and I'm sure that was about the same with.
But the tricky part was that there was no nose hole to breathe out of, so you could only breathe out of your mouth. But they also had fake teeth in.
Hi, man. I'm sorry. This is just amazing. I'm sorry to cut you off. I never saw you out of makeup.
You recognize me without my blue.
Yeah.
You're like, who is
I know
this
who
guy?
you are now.
I'd like to introduce you.
How are
This is
you, man?
Rico.
Yeah, it was great. I loved your character.
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We meet for the second time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that is true. That is true. He's, he does anything for art.
Yes, I do.
That character was really cool, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
It's a process. Yeah, like Adrian was saying, like breathing out of the very little nose holes that we had was virtually impossible, and we had to be careful because, like humans have to breathe to live. So we found ourselves at times taking these deep breaths where all of a sudden the prosthetic makeup is like caving in on us. So there was a lot of mouth.
Which I have to say was unattendedly comical. Like you're in the middle of a fight scene and then his face would collapse on its own. You're like
implode in ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, it was something. But the bigger challenge was actually eating. I think at one point Bruce asked for tomato soup because we really couldn't eat hardly anything. We had a lot of peas and to eat because that's a little bit easier. And I guess we had to put straws in the water bottles. But all in good fun because it was the time of our lives. But yeah, it was a lot of work and a lot of heavy breathing, and it was very hot.
Do you have teeth on too?
We had teeth, which I kept cutting my tongue because it was literally that sharp, and trying to keep them in because it was one of those things where you had to dip them in water to loosen them up, and then you put them in there and mold them and blah blah blah. And we had to wear some like.
Was there dye in your mouth too?
Yeah, where
it was creepy looking.
Yeah, we were sexy and ugly all at the same time.
Well, we got the tech work. Does anybody want to see the trailer real quick?
Can we hit the lights? Can we hit those lights before you play it?
Oh yeah.
Much better.
Somebody hit the lights. Okay. Anybody?
I know.
Good, clever.
And don't blink; you'll see me right at the beginning.
I do have the blooper ready. We'll show that
Growling.
towards the end. Yeah. We're on a roll, man.
Can we get more light out?
Yeah, we can kill those.
Everybody see okay?
Beyond this place of wrath and tears, looms the horror of the shade.
I'll lead them away. You stay here.
Don't leave me!
I have to, or they'll get you too.
There may be evidence that she is still alive.
Tell me.
Do this mission, and I will.
I'm worried about you, Poppy. You should have retired years ago.
I'm only 143. With all the new medical advances, I'll be around when you become captain.
The Federation made a grave mistake in interfering. We will not be stopped by you. We will not be stopped by anyone.
The Council refuses to act. He is destroying planets, and yet they do nothing.
We can't trust anyone.
Our salvation may rest with rogues and outcasts.
Alexa Singh. You're supposed to be serving out a life sentence in an Orion prison.
A recognized leader of a whole world, and we just stroll in and assassinate him.
Starfleet's prime directive won't let them interfere, so they have to find someone else.
Spirit without discipline can have deadly consequences.
This is his stronghold. Ultra fortified.
That won't bother me.
Be careful.
Make no mistake. You will be hunted.
That's the way we like it.
I will bring the Federation to their knees.
We could be in trouble. We're already in trouble. Let's give them hell. Return fire.
Be careful, Paul. This could get out of hand very easily.
So yeah, the one thing about this is that it was a labor of love. I think everybody really pitched in and did their characters and everything else because it was the love for the actual product and project. And I think that I've seen the thing kind of be 10 times now from inception all the way through, and I think it really holds up. So all those rewrites, yes. So and Manu, you had a couple of different things. You had to basically walk around with dots on your arms.
Yeah, that was really, really. I hate green screen. Man, it's so awful. It's the whole movie. I'm a wimpy little guy. This will take me forever. In case you need proof. Here we go. So
you don't.
No, I don't have the dots. So in the movie, I have this morphing arm that does all these awesome things. But when you're acting, you just have all these little green dots on this. And you have to pretend that it's really happening. And it was really hard for me to raise this and think that it was something worth the crap.
Totally bought it.
You just
Like,
bought it.
I never doubted you for a second.
And so good we were going to leave it just that way.
Right, just the dots. That was my idea, yeah.
That was tricky. But the guy is his name Kurt Hansen? I think Curtis Hansen, who did the effects for.
No, that's the director, Curtis Hansen.
Oh, well, it's something Hansen. No, Mark Hansen. Who was. This is like how this project came to be. Some of the magic. I just put out a Facebook request. Hey, are there any visual effects artists out there that want to help with this film? We need somebody to do my arm. And this guy wrote and said, yeah, I'd love to help. And he did this amazing work. If you see the film, just like amazing work. He must have put in days on that, I would assume. A year, yeah, days. So all props to him, and I haven't met the gentleman yet, so I should do that.
Can you hear me?
That was the other thing about my character, though. Also, half the time I was covered like this, and you don't think that is an annoying thing to deal with. But it was really hot on set, and we didn't have the air conditioners were broke or something. So we had all of our costumes are very thick. They're almost like pirate type looking costumes. So there was layers upon layers like Neelix wore, and so I had lots of layers, lots of sweat through the layers, and my eye covered, and I just started to get a migraine headache, and then I had a migraine headache, and I was exhausted, tired, crabby, and all you guys with like Vic Montagna, how do you say his last name? Just Mignogna, such a funny guy, and you guys are all just cracking jokes, and I'm trying to take it seriously. I was the dick.
And Vic was in full makeup too because he was the Cardassian.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's just having a great old time with it, and I'm just a jaded.
I would cut you some slack. I mean, you're right. It seems like, for a half an hour or something, that's not a big deal. But the idea of not having your equilibrium and just horrible.
And the smoke, and then a migraine, and then a weak, dorky arm, and then you still have to act on a green screen.
God, I guess I had it easy then. With all that prosthetic makeup.
Yeah.
I guess I should stop bitching.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what's funny is that every time we do one of these things, I always tell myself, Manu, never bitch about how hard acting is. Nobody wants to hear an actor bitch, and what do I do?
My job is so hard.
Because for all the hard days and long days and everything else, look at the product. You know, we get to see it over and over again, and we did the heartache for a couple weeks. So although you guys had obviously the worst of it.
Troopers. See it on the big screen. It's in a month, right? Isn't the ticket
August 1st?
Yeah, we're doing a screening on August 1st at
in
the
LA,
Crest.
If anyone's there.
I don't know how many seats we have for fans, but there's like a little flyer over there that has my email address on it. So feel free to take those and email me, and if we have space, absolutely, we'd love everybody to come. It's a good time, and it's lots of action, and obviously you can see the acting is phenomenal. We have really, really great talent, and just a lot of love, and that's what it's pretty much all about. There's love for the product. And do you guys have any questions before we keep going on?
Except Bob, everybody was really talented except Bob.
That guy's a hack.
You want to say something else?
I mean, we really carried him.
I know.
It was terrible.
Picardo? What a
Something
joke
like
of an
that, I
actor
know.
that guy is.
Oh, it will be released eventually on YouTube. We don't have an exact date yet, and you obviously keep in touch with, if you're not part of the Facebook page already, definitely Facebook us so that you can see all the great announcements that we have coming up, and a lot of exciting stuff. And back in the orange.
I'll take them one at a time. When you are filming so quickly, and when you're filming something that is so enigmatic, like the pieces were coming together on the day, so you would have to rewrite because that set wasn't finished, so we had to rewrite it to work on a set that was finished, or to make sense of a weapon that we did have because the other one was broken or misplaced, or just as you're going through it, trying to make sure that basically it's trying to make sure that you're always keeping the through line of the story. And because we are on such a limited budget, we didn't have the chance to rehearse. So a lot of times we were figuring things out on the day and realizing that, wait, for this scene to make sense, it has to be tweaked in this way. And, it would go back and forth like that. So absolutely.
And on top of that, we were adjusting, story and backstory and things to that effect. People will come up with ideas and things to that effect. And overall, I think it made it a lot better.
Oh, absolutely. I think all of that collaborative effort. Really.
Yeah, film is a collaborative effort within itself. So the more heads you have on everything, usually the better off it comes. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Yes, this was under new media.
Yeah. I'll share with you what happens in Hollywood with all these new movies because I'm a producer. Wow, are people filming? Maybe I won't share this. Yeah. Well, no.
Maybe see them after.
It didn't necessarily happen with this film, but there's when you're making a film for under $1 million budget, there's a lot of guys that were doing the new media agreement. And if you're making a movie with name actors, you're doing this. I would never do this, but a lot of people are doing this. You pay the SAG minimums, and then under the table you give the actors what they want. Yeah, and that's really the only way that a lot of these movies of that sort of money, movies made for hundreds of thousands of dollars, looking like they're made for a lot more. That's one of the ways that it's happening.
Well,
and
Sky,
so
who's our producer,
too,
had a lot
people.
of the personal relationships with all of the vintage Star Trek names. So that's how they all came on.
And not only actors, but the visual effects work, and the costume designer, and the people that are building the sets. It was so much free work went into this.
Good.
Hi. He's got the
Wow.
Wave the flag.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
Me or?
Oh, Tim Tams.
Yeah,
those are so good.
But,
Thank you.
so thank you for coming out. That's
These are
welcome.
shared.
Welcome.
Tea.
Sure, we can do that.
I love Oztrack.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm down. Thank you, brother.
Of course. Thank you.
You guys are awesome. I was treated so kind by the whole. Me and Jerry did a thing over there a couple years ago called Borg Invasion, and you guys.
And let me just say that without you guys, this wouldn't exist. It's
Yeah.
all of your support that have made this come into fruition. So I want to give you guys a hand, too. Thank you so much for all the fans. And the girl up there? Yes, it's a full 75, 80-minute piece. So it's a full feature. Does anybody want to take this, by the way? You want to take the premise?
It basically takes place 15 years after the events of Star Trek Voyager, and deals with a new threat to the Federation, a new alien race that has been uncharted through the Federation, and they're coming forth, causing havoc wherever they go. Some stuff's going down in the Federation that no one can be trusted, so hence these guys coming on board and doing some of the dirty work that the Federation ain't gonna do. So, and
Yeah, Chekhov is like
head of security.
Yeah, but he can't. There's corruption high in the Federation, so he has to
Section
hire
31's involved,
We're like a black
a
ops
crew.
team.
Yeah, basically a black ops crew that is
We do
working
the
for
things
the Federation
that have
'cause
to
we
be
have
done,
to.
but we can't admit.
Yeah, Section
Se-
37.
Section 31. Yes.
Chekhov and Tuvok have cleaned up Section 31. It's not as legitimate as it's probably should be, but it shouldn't be really. So, got to tell you a little bit up there.
That's why I call it the Dirty Dozen in space, because it's definitely different, and I think it adds a spark to Star Trek that nobody's ever done before.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm honestly not sure if I am allowed to say that or not.
Sure. I have to look at things that I can't say.
Right, because I get different answers at different times. I will say genetic experimentation, maybe, is a good way to say some, but
Yes,
not
because
all.
the blonde woman in the thing is actually her mom. So you can talk about some of that.
Yes, so I am a legitimate descendant of Khan, but not. Well, it depends on how you describe that. Like that's what I'm saying. It's a tricky thing to try to answer. Yeah,
Did
it's legit.
Khan
but
bone your mom?
I don't like to think about those things.
Does anybody like to think about our moms? And yeah.
La 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 la.
Now we got the mental image.
Take that away with you as you go throughout the day.
Right.
There's a lot of questions.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and back over there.
Yes, this is a Tim Tam, actually. Chocolate, yeah.
Tim Tam technology.
Yeah, actually, it's the story with Icheb was he got back and being the good, he always had an edge. I thought Icheb always had a little bit of an edge to him, but he was a good kid. He wasn't a kid. Everyone calls him a kid, but I was 21 when I got that role, damn it, so I wasn't a kid. But he got back and decided to join what he thought was a program to help people deal with people that had been assimilated by the Borg, that he was going to be a volunteer and help people just like Seven helped him and the Captain helped Seven, etc. But it was really a Section 31 secret program, and they knocked him out, and the Federation has been stealing Borg technology and adapting it for their own purposes, and they basically made me into a killing machine for them. And so I have all these new Borg nano things. Basically, kind of, yeah. That's actually what I always say, that the Borg have become like liquid steel Terminators, because it morphs. Sometimes I just have an arm, and then suddenly it's this horrible weapon that does these different things. So he's not at all like he was in the show, and angry, and left the Federation because they did that to him.
Swiss Army knife of Borg technology.
Yeah, he's not your.
Well, there are the writers aren't here, but they knew, because they also did Star Trek of Gods and Men, which, if you haven't seen, that one's on YouTube, the full feature. So they already knew who they could reach out to and who was willing to come and do the new media side. So I'm sure that with that in mind, they did craft this. But you guys were all hired after the script was done. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just talk and talk and talk. I'll share though.
But did you know Sky beforehand or after?
I got involved pretty early, but I got to see the first script. It turned out was very good, but it turned out to be too expensive to shoot. So I remember that they postponed production for 3 months or 4 months while the new one was rewritten. And like we said, by the time we got to shooting, it was still in the rewrite process, but we'd already locked down the studios, built the sets, and so we got into one of those Hollywood situations where you've got a script that's close to done but not quite done, and we had those, it was like you said, getting it together on the day process.
I was the last to come on board, I think. Literally, like maybe a week before shooting began.
Okay.
Something like that.
And go ahead.
For me, with the message of Star Trek, I can't approach it in any way but when I talk on stage at conventions, because I'm just an actor, I've never, even on Voyager, I wasn't able to come and say, hey, let me tell my story, here's my ideas. But I realize, having been involved with this franchise, the message behind the Roddenberry vision of Star Trek. And we were just, last night, there was a screening of Trek Nation, Rod's film, the son of Gene, about him going and discovering his father by coming to these things, because Gene passed away when he was 17, and he didn't really know his dad really well. So he came to these things to get to know his father, and it's an amazing movie if you haven't seen it, Trek Nation. But people asked the same sort of question after we screened that and a short film that he made. What do you think the future is going to be about, and how much of an effect does Star Trek have on that? And it's always a very interesting conversation to have. I think as far as the Borg go, has anyone read Kurzweil's book, A Singularity is Near? Okay, here's this guy that is super genius, and he's a lot of things that he has said have come to fruition. He believes that AI is going to happen. Of course, at some point it's going to, and that we're going to start living to be hundreds of years old, because we'll have fake hearts and fake lungs and fake legs. And when AI gets developed, he believes that either it's going to go Terminator on us and erase us, or that we're going to merge with it. And so I always think of the Borg when I think of that, but not evil. I think the whole definition of humanity is going to change, in the future.
Then we won't lose our cell phones.
Yeah. It's starting. Yeah. They'll be in us, which is scary, totally scary. But, if you go back to the flip phone with Kirk and the fact that we have it now, and I'm always just blown away by how much art influences our real realities. 1984, we're living it, right? That's
As far as you were asking really about the humanity side of Star Trek and the moralistic side, and I really think that, and you guys can correct me, but I think that Renegades is more about redemption. I think it's more about these characters who are trying to find their humanity, and by working together with people that they wouldn't normally work with, they're finding themselves. I mean, how do you feel?
I think that's a beautiful way to put it, but I think the fact that we show up in packages that are unexpected or a little more rough around the edges than you've seen before, I don't think that changes the fact that our end goal is still the same. We're still doing missions hoping to improve, trying to solve problems and trying to make things better. And we do it in unconventional ways, and we fight amongst ourselves, and we are a mess, but we also accomplish things. So I think it's a little bit messier, but I don't actually think that it's gone off course at all. I think it's the same core message.
There was I think a lot of that had to do with, oh, come on, Manu, he's your friend. Think of his name.
George. Bob.
Bill.
Just to throw names out. Jog the memory. Jog the board memory.
Walter was concerned. The first script came through, and the first script was dark, and it wasn't Gene's vision. It was dark. It was a dark look at the Star Trek universe, and I knew, and he knew, that it was going to bother people because it wasn't his Star Trek, and I think his voice changed this film drastically to be more canon and more moral and more what. I don't think he was going to be involved unless some changes happened. I don't know if that's true or not, but I remember him, he said at a convention he was really concerned that it was too dark, and then part of the rewrites, I think, were part of that it was just too bloody and too explosions and death, and it's changed drastically since the first one. I liked it, but I'm a bad person.
Do you guys want to check out the blooper reel real quick?
Yeah.
You guys want to dim the lights again?
Scene 19 Frank, take one, Mark.
Still no sign of Ragnar or the ship. In fact, I'm not detecting anyone. God, Manu, get your lines out of your hole. Still no sign of Ragnar or the ship. In fact, I'm not detecting anyone on the planet.
All right, there you go. Here's the volume.
Shitty put your poo. Chitty poo poo poo. I felt like the camera was right in front of you. Oh, well, let's go.
All right.
And I think you and the council are too flippant about this. And the Python. What is it called?
Let me give you the cue.
Siphon?
We may need him. Your honor was sacrificed you.
Your sacrifice will honor. You got to switch that blade out too.
Airplane.
That's one of our visual effects artists.
Go ahead.
Oops.
It's a shame your son doesn't shit.
Right there, back to 1d6.
The sun doesn't shit.
That would be tough. That's a tough.
I don't.
Fixer.
He's here.
fixer.
He's here? We have to get to that other reporter.
You shouldn't drink on the job.
we have to get that real quick. Alvarez is right behind us. He just dropped out of warp.
In a few days, the average surface temperature. I'm so sorry, I can't get this surface thing. We do have it in another one. Okay. The average surface. The average surface. The average surface temperature. The average surface temperature. In a few days, the average surface temperature will be. Goddamn. We're gonna f it up. It's just me and lunch in this line, okay? Okay. We know how Barada did it, and I think I know. Telephone?
You've been busy.
Don't know any of that's your business.
Tilea, this is Shri.
Why all the urgency?
I have a problem. I could utilize your acting not your acting skills.
That's okay, I too.
I want to know what is happening and why it is happening and to whom and anybody else who might be interested.
Oh, boy. And break. Hold still, right there. Shri, you're needed for a mission of the utmost importance. But it's not for another 3 days. So you can continue.
Thank you.
I'll be in the corner over here.
With your hands in your pockets.
Till you become captain. With all the medical advances, I'll be around as long as Captain Carrick.
I want to say something real quick. So the part towards the end where you heard somebody go, good, what happened was, I need to elaborate on this. So I have this staff, this long, pointy staff. And
That's what you call it.
Better believe it. And buzzing. And so I stab something, and dirty minds. And so as I'm pulling it, pretending like I'm pulling it out, I feel it hit something. Long story short, it's Tristan, our DP, and I hit him in the balls, and he was gracious enough to wait until I actually finished the line, and then that's when you hear cut. I just got hit in the balls. So that was it. Pretty embarrassing, and
I have to say that's
bad.
Particularly impressive because he's holding the camera, sinking to the ground.
Yeah. That's the guy you want.
We need stunt people for our crew.
Yes.
First time hitting somebody in the balls with an alien staff.
So I also wanted to ask you guys about Tim. We haven't even talked about Tim. What was it like working with Tim Russ as director?
Whatever. I heart Tim Russ. I adore Tim. I felt like I walked in. I just sparked something up. Oh, sorry. But from the second that from the moment that I arrived, it felt like Tim and I saw the character in the same way, and just collaborated beautifully. I just felt like he completely got what I was trying to go for, and we saw it the same way, so it just worked. So I couldn't love him more. He's the best.
Tim, for myself, I share the love with Adrian. Tim had cast me at literally last, and it was one of those things where a role had opened up, and after literally a year of courting him and letting him know that I wanted to be a part of this, sent him my reel, my headshot, resume, and all of that, and just let him know that I really wanted to be a part of what he was doing. He just said, when the role opened up, I thought of you, and your persistence got you the part, and I really believe that you can do it. And he's literally one of the nicest directors to work with, because he really does work with you, and he's cool, he's funny, and he gave me a great shot, and I'll be forever grateful. And it's changed a lot for me as an actor and a person.
I can't stand the man. He's really just every time I see him,
You
I
love
want
him.
to
Knock it off.
I want to punch him.
You love him.
I see that look on his face and that adorable laugh, and I get envious of that laugh. He's got such a good laugh.
He does.
That's
He does. He doesn't
I just-
laugh a little. He laughs.
I just
He's
got the note we have
fantastic.
5 minutes, so I wanted to get one more question, then we have one more
No,
trailer.
and hey, I'm sorry if people thought I was joking. I love Tim Russ. And in fact, I did a movie called Unbelievable with him recently, and just hired him in a film called Fifth Passenger that you'll see next year. Please check it out. He's amazing in it. Really, really good. So I'd work with Tim any day of the week.
So we have one more question that I can take before I pull this other trailer up over there.
I did a lot of just cutting my lines. I don't know what it was, but Icheb was so different than what I was used to. And I realized why JJ didn't hire actors from Star Trek to do the new films. Because I was so stuck in the old character that I didn't understand the new one. And I went, oh, I see why he didn't, because he wanted to... I understood that, because he's going to have actors going, no, this is what Star Trek is. And I had a lot of that with Icheb. I just saw lines like, I remember there was one line that was, get out of the way, you crazy bitch. I was like, there's no way Icheb would say that. So I did a lot of going over to Tim and going, hey, would Icheb say that? I don't think so. And Tim would go, no, he wouldn't say that, man. So I'd go, I'm just going to cut it. So I'm silent and stealthy in a lot of this movie. That was my improv, not saying anything.
I don't feel like I improv'd much at all. I feel like we were fine-tuning it every single day, trying to make sure that it was making sense. But a lot of what I say, because I'm giving orders, had to be specific for what we had already shot or what we had the possibility of shooting. So it had to be, there wasn't really a lot of room for improv, for my character at least.
Yeah, same here. It was pretty much to the script.
The improvs were all jokes. I mean, that's
Right.
Which is the other blooper reel.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up, but Sky and the team have done another project we wanted to show you the trailer real quick for. It's a comedy this time. It's a sci-fi comedy. Just think of Cheers in space. So we're going to roll that if you can do the lights. And it's called Cosmos, and it has some people from...
Be prepared to be stupefied by Edwina T. Magnificent.
What does the T stand for?
The.
Hey there, boyfriend.
Disgusting.
As a hermaphrodite, it's very important that I find myself attractive.
I like to laugh, so sue me.
How would you like to never have to shave that 5 o'clock shadow again? Could I interest you gentlemen in the finest paper cup on the market today?
these were real? 2 of them are. Sort of.
Could I interest you in a watch? Kitty Scooper, complete works of Shakespeare, unabridged.
Enough is enough! Tough crowd.
Yeah, so we have
Be
Bob
prepared to be
Picardo, Ethan
stupefied
Phillips,
by a Queen
Drake
T
Bell. There's
magnificent.
just a bunch of people in that,
What's the
so
T
look out
stand
for that as well.
The.
And thank you so much all for coming. I appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for all of your support, and continue to support us. Thank you.